congratulations to Patrick Kielty, who this week filled in for his first episode of his brand new gig of hosting the Late Late Show. Of course, filling in for Ryan Tubridy, who stepped down from the role earlier on this year, then proceeded to take petrol and the match and set fire to his entire career throughout the summer for our entertainment, appearing in Oireachtas committees and the media throughout, obviously with a scandal regarding his payment and lack of transparency for extra payments that he received while as host of the Late Late Show. So Patrick Kielty obviously was stepping into a bit of a lion's den on Friday night and had to come out swinging. And I wanted to kind of just give some thoughts on it. And first off, I want to say congratulations, I suppose, to RTE, because finally they've realized what literally every other major TV market in the Western world has, that late night chat shows are better with comedians. Who knew? Kielty, of course, started giving us a stinging monologue rather than Tubridy firing off a couple of painful groaners that he then has to explain to the audience are actually funny. Yeah, see, that's a joke about our oranges. You'll find, yeah, it's quite funny there, and it's just it was bad. It was actually a relief to have someone who could get laughs naturally. Obviously, a comedian is also going to inspire the much looser tone of interviews that we saw with figures like Mary McAleese, which is also much better for their profile too, and will attract guests to the show. So we're going to get a better caliber of guests throughout the series as well, as opposed to Tubridy having to be schooled on how he's stealthily sexist by Derry Girls cast members, which is what we got used to. Particularly with the toy show, it was clear that Tubridy and Pat Kenny that it was trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, trying to basically make the serious strict teacher into the cool fun teacher. It was kind of like writing Dead Poet Society with Miss Trunchbull as the main character. And that's not even a dig at Pat and Tubridy. When it comes to the day-to-day job that they're in their comfort zone for doing, Pat Kenny is very good at his job. However, just because Kielty is instantly better at the job because he's actually qualified to do it as opposed to the previous two who were struggling, doesn't make it perfect and a home run by default. The Late Late Show obviously got a lot better faster by having Kielty at its helm, but like I said, it's not perfect. RTE is still RTE, and rolling out the two Johnnies, which again, not sure how they're comedians. I tweeted this out on Friday. They aren't actually comedians. They're just like, oh yeah, great crack, lads, great crack. Oh yeah, they're just like the lads in every Irish pub, and they're like rolled out and wheeled out. I'm convinced they're just switched on. They were cooked up in the RTE canteen and giving like default the lads phrases without ever being given the punchline gene, because they don't seem to have any in their act, but they're rolled out anyway. You had the likes of Tommy Tiernan, Hector, and Joe Brolly's wife on to talk about shows, a podcast where apparently they have class banter, which was amazing because they chose to save the class banter for the podcast rather than actually doing it on the biggest broadcast in Ireland. It was just like, oh, would you look at this? This happens all the time on our podcast. Please give us money and subscribe to us, guys. But actually, it's like, I can't see why I would do that based off this conversation. It doesn't feel like you guys actually know each other. And again, it just felt like the same old same when it came to guests and the quality and the banter, despite the fact that having a comedian front it created a looser, more fun environment by default. But if you're bringing on the typical standard of guests who we were bored with throughout the normal Late Late Show, then ultimately you're kind of going around in the same circle. And I can't really speak for everyone, but this RTE, the kind of jobs for the boys, backslabbing, using license fee money to gatekeep achievement between the four walls of their canteen, that's the one that I want to see overhauled. I don't just want to see someone who's a bit of crack put in a really high profile, well-paying job in favor of someone who is zero crack and kind of weird and now is reduced to leaving messages for the teenagers of Ireland that they're not looking for on social media. That's not the overhaul I'm looking for. Bringing in an outsider like Kielty, who hasn't been institutionalized and can kind of poke fun at it all as one of us and an avatar for the audience, so to speak, in the role, is a start. And even the caliber of I thought having James McLean on was an interesting guest. He's obviously an Irishman who's achieved a lot and has a lot to say, but also has a struggle living in England, and tells a story of Ireland that we want. The fact that he was never on Tubridy's show and is on the first show of Kielty's was a statement of intent that I hope to see more of. But I think while RTE boss Kevin Backhurst can congratulate himself on one good night at the office and a definite improvement, there is still heaps of work to be done for me. So again, a good start for Patrick Kielty, very big thumbs up for him. But for the new look Late Late Show, so to speak, it is a bit same old same, and I still do need to see some evolution, if not revolution, on the format itself before I consider this a brand new RTE and a new beginning, a new era under Kevin Backhurst.